Dilshad Siddiqa from Sri Lanka. Today, I have the honor of serving as your host on behalf of the International Association for Quality Education, the Ministry of Education, Uva Province, and the Department of Education, Uva Province, Sri Lanka. The International Professional Development Program for Educators is a joint educational initiative by the International Association for Quality Education, the Ministry of Education, Uva Province, and the Department of Education, Uva Province, Sri Lanka, in collaboration with universities, organizations, schools, and educational leaders from around the world. First and foremost, I would like to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Rashmi Tyagi, the Indo-Sri Lankan Education Ambassador. Before we begin today's session, we wish to acknowledge and honor her invaluable contribution to the success of this International Professional Development Program. It's my great pleasure to welcome our esteemed speaker for today's session, Ms. Meena Yamanul. She is an international coach, children's success coach, curriculum developer, and author. She has completed her MA in Sanskrit and BEd. She is currently working as a content and a curriculum developer and international coach. In addition, she has experience as a training head and Sanskrit teacher. She is an expert in developing the emotional and mental well-being of children, as well as an innovative developer of language learning materials. She will present a lecture series on spiritual well-being for quality education. Today, she will begin with her first session on what is spiritual well-being, misconceptions, and why spiritual well-being matters in education. Ms. Meena Yamanur, ma'am, we are delighted to have you here. On behalf of the International Association for Quality Education, the Ministry of Education, Uva Province, the Department of Education, Uva Province, Sri Lanka, and all our participants, I warmly welcome you to this session. We now invite you to begin your sessions. The floor is yours.
Namaste, and I'm glad that we are meeting again. So it's like, revising all whatever I've learned so far, sharing with you. I'm not here as a person who is presenting it to you and teaching you. We are learning together. Maybe when I have to say, I might be a few steps ahead. Okay? So with that humble prayer, I would like to introduce myself. So, today the topic is what is spiritual well being? It's more about spiritual well being for educators, for teachers, and the school or children altogether. So, let me take you through that. Before we go into this, let me introduce myself. I'm Meena Imnur from India. I've done the lecture series for Sri Lanka last year, and I'm the founder CEO of Meena Imnur Learning Academy, author, children success coach. I've been into training children to become more successful, independent in their learning. Been into teaching, it's more than teaching, learning for me for 25 years, learning with various things and sharing with others and being a facilitator for children. I've also done the trainings at various levels in various parts. Along with that, Bhagavad Gita is one of my thing which is very close to my heart. And the content and curriculum development, designing, all that I'm doing. And this is about me for those who are new to this lecture series. Thank you so much to Kamal Goda sir for again inviting me and giving me this opportunity. And also UA province governor and all the education department entire team. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me an opportunity to share this with you. I understand 9 o'clock is too late because you will be busy with your family time I'm sorry if I've disturbed you at this time. Since because of my various schedules, I have sessions till 8:45. Of course, 9 to 9:15 also I have. But I tell my children if I'm here with the Sri Lankan teachers, then they say we will manage ourselves. That till 9:15. So I'm here with you, and it's good to have that spiritual learning before going to bed. It will be more peaceful to you. So with that note, we are going to start. I have few questions to each of the teachers here, whoever is there in the Zoom call. You can unmute. My request to you is make sure that you unmute yourself and then mute yourself once you are done with answering, so that others will get a chance to speak. I'll be in between, I'll be stopping and switching the videos, the PPTs, and directly talking to you people. So I hope this is the mode in which I would like to. It's not like, some information transfer. It's more like, what we each other understand and come to some consensus. Okay. With that, now I have a question to each one of you. What is spiritual well being? Actually, let us go one at a time. What is spiritual? What, according to you, is spiritual? You can unmute. I think if you can raise your hands, sir, if I may need some help to allow them to unmute, if somebody can also be a co-host kind, it'll be better.
Yes, ma'am, they can unmute. They can
They
unmute.
can unmute. Okay. What is spiritual according to it? There is no wrong answer. It is our understanding. So please feel free to share what is spiritual according to you. Yes.
If someone applies learning from their uh, let's say from their Gita, Quran, or whatever Bible that they follow, and they actually apply it in their life, they usually call themselves as spiritual. That is my understanding.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So wonderful. Well said. It's all whatever the learnings that we have and what we follow is called as spiritual. Yes, we'll move on. Is anybody else would like to share? Please feel free to share the answer. It's your understanding, what you believe and what you feel is spiritual. How many of you are spiritual here in this group? Let me see. How many of you feel that, yes, I'm spiritual? Raise your hands.
Contrast to physical body, madam.
Yes, Mahesh is saying, yes, I'm spiritual. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for the response. Yes, Mohammed says he's spiritual. Yes. Who else? Okay, wonderful. Deputy Director of Education has shared relating to deep feeling and belief, especially religious beliefs. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Yes, I'm not able to see whoever is answering and raising your hands. You can share either message, or if you feel shy to share it here, you can always. Okay, contrast to physical activities. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. So wonderful. You all have given certain things, responses. Thank you so much. So let's go into without wasting time, without coming with some thoughts. Is education with meditation? I think, yeah, education with meditation. Thank you so much for sharing. So let me share the screen, and we will. Just let me know if the screen is visible to you. Yeah, right. Yeah, thank you. First, let us understand what are the misconceptions that we have regarding spiritual well being or the word spiritual itself. Okay? Now, look at this very carefully. Spirituality is equal to religion. So, there's somebody who follows Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, right? All this we think that if you are more religious, we think more spiritual, right? That how many of you agree that if you are more religious, you do religious practices a lot, then we think that we are more spiritual. Let me make things little more. Let us go dive into it little more in detail. See, our ancestors, please remember, I am not contradicting anything here. But let us try to understand. Our ancestors have given us certain practices for us so that we get and imbibe from the childhood itself. You belong to any of these groups, no problem. But still you have been given some practices. Now let me tell you, very confidently I can say, at least about Hinduism, because that's what I follow. Hinduism is not a religion. It's a way of living. If you look at it, it has not come from one particular thing. It's like how people lived, how they did, what they did, everything which was aligned with the purpose, which was aligned for the well being, is called Hinduism. So we have practices. Practices are always there to reach the higher realms. I'll go little in detail with this. We have idol worship. Idol worship is because, please try to connect with whatever the teaching, I mean, in the school teaching, what we do. The visual learning is very, very important for us. At a very early age, you show an object to the child and say, this is mobile. You show an object and say, this is book. So this is the visual aspect. So for us to understand and grow beyond a certain things, we need something concrete for which there is these idol worship. From there you move to Nirakara, Sakara, which is with concrete, what do you say, with the idols, to Nirakara. Nirakara is without that any form, you're going to that. Okay, that is the understanding what we have. If you look at Buddhism, Buddhism is not like something initially it was. Buddhism is, correct me if I'm wrong, Buddhism is like, certain set of practices, all that what Buddha was following, he was preaching the same. And which later become a religion. Whoever follows, if you see any part, whatever we call it religion, a certain set of people following that became a religion kind. We started giving a name for its own identification. So whoever, there were people following Buddha because they liked his teachings. They liked the way he presented things. And you might have come across various stories. Maybe in the later sessions, we'll be discussing about the stories to understand these concepts even more in detail. So when you look at that, that is how the learning was. The Buddhism is not like a religion. Of course, we have given that name, but it is the way of practices that went on. Is there anybody in this room who would like to share or contradict to what I'm sharing? What do you say? It's an open discussion that we are doing. Yes or no? Okay, shall we move on to the next? Please think about it. We can have a discussion in the next coming sessions also. This will help us to understand better. So also maybe Islam or Christianity, people who liked Jesus followed, people who liked Prophet, they followed, isn't it? So that's how the origin of religion. But it is not, spirituality is not just the religion. Spirituality is something universal. Those practices are needed. Again, I'm saying practices are needed to put us into place, put us into some habits, put us into some structure. And beyond that, when we have not understood completely beyond, when you look at it beyond, it is all about everything the same. The kind of the points that we are going to discuss later, you will come across, you will understand, or you will accept or agree with me. You might have disagreement initially. Now let us look at the other misconception. Most of the time we think that spirituality is something meditating for long hours. How many of you have heard that? If you do meditation you can raise your hands. If you do hours of meditation, then you are called spiritual. Right? Many of you may agree with that. Thank you. Let me take you through a story. This person by name, he was a sage, Brahmin sage, by name Kaushika. He used to meditate a lot. He used to meditate a lot and he had gained lot of power, which he didn't know that he had got so much of power. He sat under a tree, banyan tree, and he was meditating. Kindly mute. A crane on the tree dropped droppings. Generally, what will the birds do from the top? They drop the droppings, right? It fell on the sage, this Brahmin guy. When it fell, he got angry. He immediately looked, staring at the bird. He started staring at the bird. When the minute he stared at the bird, it fell down and got burnt into ashes. When he saw that, he felt, wow, I have gained so much of power. And then later, he said, okay, I'm very powerful. He went. He went to beg alms. This is called as Bhikshatana. I think you are also familiar. Bhiksha, getting alms. He went, and when he went to a house, there was this lady. She said, please wait. When she said, please wait, he said, he got angry because she said, I'm serving my husband. I need to complete that and then come and attend you. Please wait. He got angry because he already knew that he stared at the bird and the bird got burnt. He did the same thing to this lady. When he did that, that lady smiled at that sage and said, I am not that bird. When she said that, he was shocked. He was surprised. How did this lady know? Because that happened somewhere very far off. And this lady sitting here, serving her husband, got to know what I have done earlier. So then he waited because he wanted the answer. How did you know? He waited for that lady to come back. She finished serving her husband. Actually, she had not told. She was serving her blind husband. She did all the things that she was supposed to. All you remember, in the earlier days, it was like, husband is the God kind, or you have to serve whoever is there in the family first before serving ourselves. So she was serving the husband. She came and she gave the alms. She gave the bhiksha. When she gave bhiksha, he asked, "How did you know that?" Then she smiled and said, "You go. There is a butcher in a particular place. Go meet him. You will know everything later." He was curious. He wanted the answer. He didn't mind going to a butcher. He went there. He met this butcher. And the butcher said, "You wait." He also got angry. "I know. Don't, look at me or stare at me. You just have to please wait. I'll come back." He had old parents he was serving. One thing remember, this person is selling meat, which this sage couldn't tolerate that, of course, because each one has the different practices, right? But he had to get the answer, so he waited. He finished serving his parents, everything, and he came back. And he served, and very nicely he treated this sage. He asked, "How did you know? Or how did that lady know?" That is when he said, "See, that lady is doing her duties to the T completely. And she is very dutiful at her work. That's why I am selling me. This is for just the sake of bread earning for my family. Nothing else. I don't do extra. I don't kill animals unnecessarily because he's actually killing and selling the meat. He said, I don't kill animals unnecessarily just to fill my stomach and my parents. I mean to say, my taking care of my parents and myself, I'm doing this work. So when he is harming, he is not harming with an intention, the animals or whatever. He said that lady was doing her duty. That's how she gained that power. She could make out what you're doing, what you did earlier. And he fell at the feet of this person. So the interaction happened. He fell at the feet of this butcher, meat seller, and said, I'm extremely sorry. Now I realized it's not about long hours of meditation. I gain the spiritual knowledge. It is more about how I behave or how I do what I do is what he realized. And spirituality is not about what all practices that we do. He's sitting and doing hours of practice, meditation. But what is within him? He has so much of anger, pride, ego, all that. So that is never called spiritual. So spirituality is way of living. Even Hinduism talks about a way of living. It is only the way of living. Okay. So the spirituality is way of living. Like, they were kind. That lady was also kind to this person, taking care of their family members, whatever their duties. Next, self-awareness. I should know what I'm doing. Am I right? Have I done any mistake? We do mistakes. But being aware of when I'm commenting about somebody, it's very easy for me to comment. But when somebody comments about me, do I take it with the same kind? Am I aware of what I'm doing? Am I hurting somebody? That awareness is very, very important in every aspect. And the discipline that we follow. Discipline is not just like, doing some tasks at a particular time. Discipline in every aspect is important. We ask children to be more disciplined. Sit quietly, be disciplined, all that. How many times are we disciplined? If you have children, adolescent, we tell our children not to scroll. I think all of you are seeing me. Most of the time, what is that we are doing? Do we have that discipline to tell our children to be disciplined? We'll have to check that. And then the sense of gratitude. Most of the time, this is where we are very casual about. See, when I'm telling to you, it's not I'm telling to you, I'm telling to myself, I'm checking myself. Okay? This is a learning. That's what is happening. Gratitude. Any small thing somebody gives, somebody does for us without our knowledge. And the gratitude that do we have gratitude to all the five elements that are there? We are getting air, we are breathing, we have enough sunlight, we have enough rain, water, right? We have enough heat, water, air, space, isn't it? So every aspect, if we look at everything, we are most of the time cribbing. How many of you agree with that? We are cribbing all the time. I don't have that. I don't have this. My husband is like that. My wife is like this. My children are like this. School is like this. Management is like this. But have we ever thought of having any kind of gratitude? That's the biggest question. Even let it be small. Let me tell you, just want to share gratitude journal. Writing it every day is very important because even small little things we start observing, and that will help us to build a spiritual well-being as well. Whatever possible, let's make it whatever the points that you feel. Yes, this one thing I felt. Yeah, this is what I wanted to hear. This is what I wanted. Just make note of that. The next is responsibility. Do I in the school? This is not my work. There's somebody else. The management is like this. Government is like this. The responsibility sharing, that teacher, this teacher, since it is all the entire teaching fraternity, I'm talking this responsibility. Most of the time in the family also, we either push the responsibility, right? How are things happening? And children also do that. So these are some of the things. What mindful communication? How am I communicating? When I'm talking something, am I giving a right message or am I giving a wrong message? Is what we need to check out. It is a sense of behavior, not a ritual. It's not only the rituals that we are following, it is the behavior, it is seen in our behavior. People can easily make out whether it is my behavior or is it simply my ritual. People can make out. So let's move on to the next part. Spirituality is only for elders and monks. How many of you feel that? Yes, whatever we have heard, spirituality is for those people, all old people in the family, they should be more spiritual, they should do spiritual practice, and it's only for monks. This has to start from the very early age. You are all early childhood educators, right? Most of you. So the spiritual part is to be taught from the early age. See, let me tell you, I'll give my own example. My father, he lost his mother at the age of 3. He was brought up by his aunts in a village. Somebody, some house you go, somebody will feed. And that's how he was brought up. And by the time he came to high school or college, his grandmother took care of him and his sister. My aunt was a 10 months old baby when she lost her mother. So the upbringing was, there was no any such practices. Religious practices are needed at the early stages. Along with that, the value system and things like that. So when you say that, they have to calm their mind, all these practices should come. See, let me tell you, the religious practices will help us to develop certain qualities in us that is needed. But religion is not spiritual. That's what I meant by saying. I'm repeating again. So it became such a difficult thing. He passed away almost a few months back in the month of Jan. I mean, almost 1 year. So the last few days, because I had lost my mother just 1 year, 1.5 year back, and he stayed with me. It was very difficult to get him into some calmness and some practice and things like that. When we say that it is in the older age we have to learn, it is not possible. That's what that was the reason why I gave that example. So it has to be a start. Please remember, when you are sowing the seed of spirituality at old age, it will grow for the next life. But when you sow the seed at the early stages for children in class or at home, then you can see them evolving. It grows. As they grow elder, that grows like a huge banyan tree, which you all worship, right? Bodhi Vriksha. It grows like that. It expands. So that is very important. Children, it is needed for children, it is needed for teachers, it is needed for parents. You name anybody and everybody needs spiritual learning. That is spiritual well-being. What is spiritual learning? We'll slowly understand things even more in detail. Everyone will benefit from the spiritual well-being. Okay. Spiritual people never get angry or stressed. This is wrong, because ultimately each one are human beings. They have not evolved to the level of Buddha. They have not evolved to the level of gods, anybody. So all of us have emotions. If you see the early stages of Buddha, he experienced the emotion. When he saw a crippled person, when he saw the corpse, dead person, when he saw sick person, right? There were emotions. He got disturbed with those emotions. He was really sad. That is the emotion what he experienced. So every people will have those emotions. How we evolve and overcome the anger, the stress matters a lot. I've been into this teaching for almost 25 years. When I became a teacher at the age of 21, I was very, you can imagine a 21-year-old being a teacher. I used to beat like anything. I used to get angry, annoyed. And I was in charge of, in a residential school, I was in charge of 32 boys who were just 4 5 years younger to me. 15, 16, 17 years boys. 32 boys I had to take care of their academics. I had to make sure that they sit for study time. This was the duty that I had because I was not married. I had this duty. I used to have a key bunch. I used to throw to their legs. I used to get annoyed. I used to get stressed. Over a time, we all evolve. We have to understand. And very gently, I'm talking my principal, who was my guru also, my teacher, mentor. He came to me. He didn't suspend me. He didn't warn me because that is the evolvement of his stage. He was 30 years elder to me. So he was somewhere around 45, 50. He came to me and he said, Ma, this is not, and he didn't tell, no, not, don't do. He told in a very different way that to stop beating. He told it in such an wonderful way, which which I was shocked, or I felt, oh, I am okay. Yeah, this is very nice thing what he's saying. So I should correct myself because I'm hurting somebody. So he told in a very nice way. He could have got angry. He could have shouted at me. Anything he could have done, but he didn't do that. So that is what each one of us will have emotions, whether it comes to your family, your children, your spouse, your in-laws, or your own parents. There will be emotions. But when we are spiritually aligned, what will happen to us? We'll be able to handle the anger with awareness. Okay, now I can say, yeah, I'm getting angry. But let me cool down myself. Not that we don't lose temper. I'll share one more incident. And express the emotions without hurting others. I can always express without hurting others. And I may get angry, but returning back to balance myself is very, very important. The next point. Spirituality is very abstract thing. It cannot be applied in real life. Most of us think that spirituality is something else. My life is something else. Whatever I'm doing in my life that is different, spirituality is different. Let us try to understand this. Because it directly impacts our stress. If spiritual aspects are there with us, the way we handle our stress will be different. The way we handle our relationship will be different. The learning will be more effective. And the classroom environment will also be different. Just tell me how many times your children have come and shared that my high school teacher XYZ was like this. It was not good. I don't feel like going to school. I feel like bunking this class. I hate this teacher. Have you all heard of that? Just check. It is for us to introspect. How many times children, even in preschool also, some children, they won't like some teachers because they're very strict. They shout. What happens? We don't like anyone to shout at us. Do you like your in-law shouting at you? Do you like your spouse shouting at you? Do you like your children shouting at you? No, right? The same thing. When we don't like, it's the same. Others also don't like. So that's what we need to reflect, reflect, reflect. Okay, this area. Oh, I'm becoming better, but still I have anger, I have stress. And life is different, spirituality is different. Nothing like that. Everything is integrated. The design of by the universe is more like, everything is integrated. If you look at the blueprint, we call it as anda. Anda is egg. Pinda is the baby in the womb. And the Brahmanda, the universe, cosmos. Everything is a replica, if you look at. God has created everything in a small form. The same thing is slightly in the bigger form. And the same thing is in the entire universe. The universe is also same thing. So anything that we are doing is all interconnected and it is the same. Everywhere it is the same. Now, spiritual activities take too much of time. Yes, if we think that I have to sit and do meditation, I have to do fasting, I have to do that, this, it will take too much of time. No. Even 2 minutes, when I get angry with that particular child, if I can do deep breathing, my energy shifts. If I just think, God, you have given this child into my hands, your child into my hands, I need to help this child evolve rather than curb the child. Of course, let me tell you, when we look at the karma theory, if there is some lesson to learn for us, such children will come to us. Some troublesome children will come to us because we don't know what kind of trouble we have created in our previous past. So, if this child is with me, I think I have to learn some lesson and I have to help this child overcome whatever the challenges he or she has. Thank you, God. I'll try whatever best from my side. I don't know. The same story will get repeated in the next. So I used to get, I was a very short tempered earlier. I think probably from 10, 15 years. Yeah, more than that, I can say. At least 10, 15 years, very consciously. I don't yell at students. I don't shout. Even if I sometimes raise my voice, I'll make sure that I'll make it light so that, it is directly not affecting any child, hurting their sentiments or hurting their emotions. But yesterday, for some reason, I was angry with my son. I was shouting at him. Immediately, I shifted. He is adult, 21-year-old. So obviously, the never I scold or keep telling certain things or sharing. But yesterday, I got little angry for certain reasons. I shouted at him. Immediately, I'm there in the class. I unmuted and I scolded one child for not reading and not doing the task. I said, "Who all are there in the at home?" My tone was the same because I just shifted from the same state of mind to this child. And I asked, "What is your mother doing? Where is your father?" When I said, "Where is your mother? What is she doing?" The child started crying. The tears rolled down. Suddenly, I felt I made a mistake. I don't know what has happened with this child. The child is not talking about mother. Who all are at home? I tried to find the answer asking who all are there at home. She's talking about her brother, she's talking about her cousin sister, she's talking about her grandmother, father, and not mother. I was almost in tears. I felt I made a big blunder. Then immediately I shifted and changed. Papa, I'm really sorry if I've hurt you. And I said, please forgive me for whatever the mistake that I've done. She's a fourth standard child. And then later, I just made the entire thing very light and, had some fun, trying to see that the child will come out of whatever she's going through. Then later, I spoke to father. Then father said, my wife passed away in the month of March. She had cancer. 2 years. She has suffered a lot. And I felt I really damaged or hurt that child to great extent. And the other parents who were sitting with the children, they said, Ma'am never shouted from 1 year we are seeing. Not even once she has raised her voice. What happened to her? Is something wrong? She's shouting. That parent asked me, I have never seen you with this kind of tone or anything. Even if children don't even read or they struggle, you will make it light and slowly help them pick up what happened. I said, this is what happened. I was shouting at my son and then immediately I attended. So today the child didn't stop because some days, most of the time, if we are in good mood and we talk to children, they will also understand our emotions. Okay, one day something was wrong with mom. Maybe because we are all human beings again, end of the day. But how we treat, then if God has given, can I give that motherly love for that child who is missing the mother? That gratitude, I said, thank you, God. If I can help this child, my life is good enough. So this kind of thought is what very, very important. We think that, that 2 minutes of breathing will also calm down our mind. And that's where we call it as spiritual. Now let's move on to the next aspect. Spirituality means avoiding wealth. This is very interesting, teachers. And or ambition. Please look at all these monks or some sadhus and who are in the spiritual, so-called spiritual, what do you call, ashrams and things like that who have built. They are the most wealthiest people. Have you seen that? All these sages and so many people who are into more spiritual kind, you might have heard of Isha Foundation, all these, they are all wealthy. How is it? When you are more spiritual, wealth will come to us. How many of you want wealth? How many of you want to fulfill your ambitions? Start becoming spiritual. Then you get whatever you desire. See, spirituality supports abundance. When we are calm, peaceful, without frustration and things like that, automatically you are welcoming that good energy, happy energy. So wealth will be there where there is a lot of happiness, joy, and that full Josh kind. So look at this lady. She is working also. She is more aligned, peaceful, calm. When you look at her picture, it's more about spirituality. Aligned person will be earning very honestly, serves wholeheartedly, uses the wealth wisely. Not like because I've got this wealth extra, I will go have some party and I spend. Not like that. Finish whatever is earned. Use the wealth, whatever is given, wisely. The person who is very spiritual will spend it in a very nice way and grows financially with integrity. When we are more grounded, when we are more spiritual, money comes to us very easily. So this is also needed. It's not like, I don't need wealth, I have renounced. Not like that. You have to do the living. You have to do this part also, that part also. You have to do your earning, enjoy, and at the same time, you are being, when we are more, if it should not be like separate, it is integrated, then naturally things will happen. Spirituality and prosperity will go together. Please remember this. I think we'll do with two more points. And please remember, spiritual person must behave like doormat, say okay, okay for everyone, okay, very people pleasing. No, it's not about being people pleasing. When we are people pleasing, we are sending the same kind of energy to children who are around us. They will also try to play the same kind of trick. No, please don't do that. You should know where to draw a line. Spirituality does not mean tolerating disrespect or injustice. When something is wrong, we can always gently say, no, this is wrong, this is not acceptable. This happens many a times. We communicate with others. No, this is not right. Are we ready to take it? Are we ready to tell others? That's very, very important. A spiritually healthy person sets the boundaries. You'll say, this is what I can do. This is what I'm going to achieve. Or I'm going to do only this much. You need not do all the work yourself by working outside also and coming home, doing everything. Please distribute your work. Say this part, please do it. Take help, seek help. You say, can you help me with this? Take help from your children, from whoever is there in the family. And set the boundaries. You can't keep saying that, I can't do that, I will do everything for you. Once again. I think, did I skip? Yeah, doormats. Set the boundaries, speak truth with kindness. Stand for what is right. If something is wrong, you can always say firmly but gently, this is not acceptable. Wherever it is. For this, one example, some 3-4 years back, we went to an ice cream parlor, and many children were sitting there. I mean, why we should not hesitate saying, for that I'm giving an example. Stand for what is right. And two youngsters were falling on each other. It was looking very awkward. That too, it was a main road side corner. There's a parlor. Many children are there, all little ones. We have to go and tell them because they think that it is all okay. I said, Madam, please, can you behave yourself? There are many children here. I don't want such a scene to be experienced by children here in the public. You can do it at your home. That's all perfectly fine. But not here. We have to stand for what is right. It's okay. She literally came to argue. That man stopped her and said, we are sorry, and they went away. So somewhere we have to put our foot down and say, even if they are strangers, we have to talk to them. If something is wrong, we have to tell them. And one should respect themselves. You don't respect yourself. Please check out how many times you have criticized yourself. I'm not good at this, I can't do that, I can't do this. Please respect, look at the qualities, what you have in yourself, and appreciate that. Spirituality is separate, family and home life is different. No, all are same. My home is the first spiritual space because that is where I build that kindness, that is where I build that gratitude, that is where I build that love. Isn't it? Spiritual well being improves when you have good communication. That is very, very, very important. Most of the time, there's no communication at homes, which will lead to literally fights because there's no communication from one of the partner, no interactions. So obviously, there'll be arguments and children also see that and grow. So teach them to communicate. And our parenting also. We are not born parents, like, we have experienced earlier and now we are taking care of the children who are born to us. Nothing like that. As we are growing, as the children, as we have children, we are growing along with them. Parenting also becomes better and better and better over a period of time because it's a first time experience, isn't it? Maybe two children, three children is different. I'm talking about the first child. It's first time parenting, which is completely new. And the emotional connection is very, very important. If we are emotionally connected and peaceful relationship, family harmony, having that synergy is very, very, very important. I think now with this, we will know what is spiritual well being. Is it tension? Is it confusion? Is it doubt? Or is it feeling lost? Which one is spiritual well being? What should one have? You can unmute and tell, please. It's about inner balance. Internally, am I criticizing myself? Internally, am I peaceful? You may get angry outside, but check out whether inner also you have that anger and hatred. I somehow want to take revenge. What kind of things are happening? Internally, I am cool, but some externally. Please remember this. If a thief has to be punished, you can always, God, please give this fellow good mindset, not to, rob. So you can pray for him. But if the punishment has to be given, it has to be given. One fellow who was supposed to be hung, this was very long back when India, when the, hanging thing was there. I'm talking about almost 70s, 80s years old. The person who had to give the judge used to do so much of this thing, prayers for him to do the right things. I mean, at least help the soul, kind. But he had to take the action. If he doesn't let that fellow die, then there'll be the hundreds of such fellows emerging because no, nothing will do. There is no law, nothing uh, affects. So, but we should have the discretion. Internally, if I'm peaceful, internally, if I have clarity, then rest of the things will be, and I should be connected to myself. It is not like, too different. So that is more important. I think we'll conclude at this. The next part, we will take it in the next sessions. Thank you so much for your time. Hope it was helpful and beneficial.
Ma'am, it's a great opportunity to have this kind of lecture. So I got many things. Uh, According to your lecture, I thought we have to consider about inner peace, as I think. I had some concepts about uh, spirituality, but now I cleared all the doubts and other things. Thank you very much, ma'am. It's a great opportunity for us to have this kind of lecture. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I feel that yeah, that as I said that spirituality links with the religion, so most probably. But I think that everyone must be spiritual. At what I feel, so especially a teacher, the teacher who is going to make the next generation, the children. Teacher must be especially spiritual than the others. That's what I feel. I think.
Sir, actually, if we are spiritual only, then we get into this profession also.
Yes,
Some
ma'am. Yes,
part
ma'am.
of spirituality is there for which we get into, because the service mindset, that the love for care for children, that all will be there, some part of it will be there. That's why we come into this profession also. Every profession has its own structure. Sir, you can take me out of the spotlight so that I can get to see other teachers also. Yeah. Yeah. This is nice. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, others can also share your thoughts. It's always teachers when we start interacting and sharing, that is when we will have a better discussion, understand better. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Fly so high, I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.